When you begin doing cavalettis, your starting spacing is usually going to be the same as your dog's height at their withers. Please note the same does not usually apply to short-legged, long-backed dogs. The dog shown here is 18 inches at the withers, so for regular spacing, the poles will be 18 inches apart. You'll see as she trots through the poles that her feet land at just about the midway point between the poles. Another thing to remember is to always warm up your dog beforehand. Cold muscles and joints will not have the same range of motion and flexibility as warm muscles and joints, and the dog will not be able to extend as far. Lengthening the space between the poles helps the dog to lengthen their stride. Typically, you can increase the space about an inch at a time until you reach the farthest distance your dog can stride over. Keep in mind this is a progression and your dog will need to work up to their extended spacing gradually. For the dog shown here, her extended spacing is 20 inches. Notice how she has to extend her stride even further to make it over the poles. Her feet land much closer to the inside of the poles, and she just makes it over the pole without hitting them. If your dog is hitting the poles from the start, your spacing is too far. If they are hitting the poles after several reps, then it is more than likely your dog is fatigued. Here is an example of spacing that is too far apart. The spacing here is 24 inches, and you can see that the dog is unable to stride through in an extended trot and is double stepping between some of the poles. Here, the spacing of the poles is too close together. Although the dog may appear to be trotting just fine, this is really more of a collected trot, and with the spacing too close will actually shorten the dog's stride over time, as it is shorter than their normal stride length. Instead, you want to be encouraging the dog to lengthen their stride by spacing the poles to where they have to reach an extension. The spacing shown here is 16 inches, and you can see as the dog strides through that her feet are landing about 3/4 of the way between the poles, which is not encouraging extension.